The Dutch coach just told the truth about Memphis Depay, and nobody was ready for it. What if the player your national team desperately needs is the exact player your coach is quietly trying to leave behind? Memphis Depay, one of the most talented Dutch footballers of his generation, is heading into a World Cup cycle, and his own national team coach just said something that should have made headlines everywhere. Something raw, something honest, something most coaches never say out loud. Stay with me, because what happened next changes everything you thought you knew about the Netherlands' World Cup ambitions. Let's set the scene. The Netherlands, Oranje, have always been one of football's great romantic stories. Total football, Johan Cruyff, 3 European championships, the generation of Robben, Sneijder, and Van Persie that nearly conquered the world in 2010. Dutch football runs deep. It carries weight. But the current generation? It's complicated. Right now, the Netherlands are in a transitional phase, balancing experienced veterans with hungry young talent. Players like Virgil van Dijk, Frankie de Jong, and Cody Gakpo are the backbone. But above the team, looming large is the question that Dutch football fans have been arguing about for years. Where exactly does Memphis Depay fit in all of this? Memphis, now in his 30s, has had a career that reads like a novel. Struggled at Manchester United, reinvented himself at Lyon, thrived at Barcelona briefly, fought back from injury, moved to Atletico Madrid, stayed relevant through sheer force of will, personality, and undeniable technical quality. He is not a player you simply discard. He's a statement, a symbol. But here's the thing that nobody inside Dutch football wanted to say publicly until now. The Dutch national team coach, Ronald Koeman, finally broke the silence. In a press conference that most international outlets briefly mentioned but quickly moved past, Koeman said something remarkable. He was asked directly about Memphis Depay's role in the squad, about whether the veteran forward was still central to the Netherlands' plans, about whether his age and his club form were starting to become factors. And Koeman didn't dodge it. He didn't give the standard manager answer, the every player will be evaluated on merit non-answer that coaches use to avoid controversy. He didn't give the political, safe, diplomatic response. He was honest. He acknowledged that Memphis's situation was complicated, that the manager values what Memphis brings, the experience, the technical ability, the leadership, the sheer presence of a player who has been through everything. But Koeman also made it clear that nothing is guaranteed, that the Netherlands are evolving, that younger attacking players are pushing hard for those spots. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because what Koeman said wasn't just about Memphis Depay, the player. It was a window into something much bigger happening inside Dutch football right now. A quiet revolution in how the Netherlands see themselves, how they want to play, and what kind of team they're building for the next World Cup cycle. Before we get to the full story, if you're new to Football Atlas, we cover football the way it deserves to be covered. Deep, honest, no hype. Subscribe and hit the bell. We drop new videos every week, and you do not want to miss what's coming next. Let's talk about what's really going on here, because this story has 3 layers, and most people only see the surface. Layer 1, the Memphis problem. Memphis Depay is genuinely difficult to manage as a national team coach. Not because of attitude, his dedication to the Netherlands is unquestionable. He has played through injuries for Oranje. He has carried the team on nights when the squad had nothing left. He has scored crucial goals in World Cup qualifiers. But Memphis is a player who needs rhythm. He needs confidence. He needs to feel important. And at club level, that hasn't always been the case in recent seasons. At Atletico Madrid, he went from starter to rotation player. He had stretches of brilliance, but also long periods of frustration. And when a player like Memphis isn't playing regularly at club level, it creates a real dilemma for a national team coach. Do you pick a player based on what he has been, or based on what he currently is?
Koeman's honesty, publicly acknowledging that Memphis's status isn't locked in, suggests he's choosing the second option. He's picking based on form, on fitness, on the present reality. And that's actually brave for a national team coach to admit, because Memphis is beloved in the Netherlands. He's not just a footballer there, he's a cultural figure. The attacking competition is real. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. Dutch attacking football is having a moment. Cody Gakpo has emerged as a genuine world-class talent. His form at Liverpool has been exceptional, clinical, fast, technically sharp, capable of playing multiple positions. Daniel Malen has had strong seasons. Wout Weghorst, love him or hate him, brings something Memphis simply doesn't: a traditional number 9 presence, aerial threat, a focal point. And then there are the younger players pushing through the system. The Netherlands youth football pipeline has been producing talent consistently. These are players with energy, with hunger, with the kind of fearlessness you only have when you haven't yet experienced tournament heartbreak. Memphis, for all his quality, is competing in a more crowded field than ever before. The bigger picture: what kind of team is Koeman building? This is the question that the Memphis situation forces into the open. Ronald Koeman has a clear idea of how he wants the Netherlands to play: organized, direct, physically aggressive when needed, but also technically sound. He wants verticality. He wants the team to go forward fast. He wants pressing intensity. He wants players who can execute a structured system without needing the ball constantly to feel involved. Memphis, at his best, is a freedom player. He operates in the half spaces. He drifts. He creates moments of individual brilliance that aren't always easy to fit inside a structured system. He's the kind of player who was made for a Johan Cruyff style of football: expressive, intuitive, beautiful. But Koeman's Netherlands isn't trying to be beautiful, it's trying to win. And that tension between the romantic vision of Dutch football and the pragmatic reality of what it takes to win a World Cup is exactly what the Memphis debate represents. When Koeman was honest about Memphis, he was really being honest about something much larger. He was saying, this team has an identity now, and we're committed to it, even when it means making hard calls about beloved players. Here's my take, and I know some of you won't like it. Memphis Depay should start for the Netherlands. Still. Not because of sentiment, not because of his legacy or what he's meant to the national team, but because of something that statistics and system talk often miss: big game intelligence. Memphis has played in World Cups. He's played in European championships. He knows what tournament football feels like: the pressure, the tension, the moments when a game turns on a single piece of individual brilliance. You cannot coach that. You cannot develop it in training. It only comes from having lived through it. The Netherlands have talented young attackers, but talent in a group stage match against a mid-tier team is very different from talent in a quarterfinal against France or a semifinal against Brazil or Argentina. In those moments, the real moments, you want someone who has been there, someone who doesn't freeze. Memphis Depay doesn't freeze. What Koeman should really be doing isn't deciding whether Memphis plays instead of the young attackers. He should be figuring out how to use Memphis as an accelerant, a player who brings the young guns along, who lifts the squad in the dressing room, and who is ready to deliver a 20-minute masterclass when the stakes are at their absolute highest. That's not a player you drop. That's a player you redesign your system to keep. Koeman's honesty was refreshing, but I hope the conclusion of that honesty isn't that Memphis is fading from the picture. Because if the Netherlands walk into the next World Cup without Memphis Depay and that squad, they're removing the one player capable of doing something completely unpredictable in the moments that matter most. And in tournament football, unpredictable wins trophies. So, do you think Memphis Depay deserves to be in the Netherlands starting 11? Or has his time passed? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Seriously, I read every single one, and this debate is one worth having. And if you want more content like this, honest breakdowns, strong opinions, real football stories told the right way, then subscribe to Football Atlas. We don't do clickbait. We don't do generic highlights. We go deep on the game. New video dropping very soon on another Dutch football story you haven't heard told this way. See you there.